Hey guys, retextures one and only, my name is AJ. Welcome back to the episode of Let's Build a City. Today, hopefully, we'll be finishing off our shop slash small flat complex building here. If you missed last episode, this side is a sort of shop, like a corner store, you know, where you get your milk and your groceries. One of those kind of small ones, maybe a news agents you'd call it. And on the right hand side is like a very small entry-level flat complex. I'm talking like one bedroom, a kitchen, and a bathroom. That's sort of, you know, those really entry-level, hardly cost a thing kind of rooms, you know, for the people that have just moved into the city or that are very poor. Now, I think I remember us saying last episode it'd be cool to have like some part of the building popping out of the roof. We'll have to try and think of that kind of design in a minute. But I have a sort of story for you guys. I don't know how interesting you'll find it, but because it was to do with me and gave me quite the shock this morning, I found it pretty interesting, so I thought I'd tell you guys. So, I'm sure that you're all aware, I have a driver's license. I drive a vehicle, okay? And in most countries, especially here in the UK and you know, United States and stuff, to drive a car on the road, you need something called insurance. It basically protects you in the event of a collision, that both parties get their cars fixed, basically. And it's like, for some people, quite an expensive thing, depending on your age, depending on if you're a man or a woman sometimes, depending on if you've got any motoring convictions, or anything like that, or if you've been in accidents before. That all sort of puts the price up or down. Now, I've never really had any problem with insurance. I've never had any problems with any motoring convictions or any accidents or anything like that. So it's not really that expensive for me. But I got a letter through the door this morning and addressed to me. And I was like, ooh, interesting. Oh, it's from my insurance company. I wonder what they have to say. So I opened it up and it said, hello, AJ. We were going through our files and we spotted that you might have a speeding conviction from May 2017 and have 5 points on your license. Now, points are something that you can get. They're not a good thing to have. It's like the opposite of like video games. If you get points on your license, it can be from like speeding. It can be from driving with no insurance. It can be driving with no tax or having your tyres not roadworthy. So if they're bald tyres, they don't have enough grip. Those kind of things will give you points. And if you get to a certain number of points, it's 12 for a normal person, 6 or 9, I think, either 6 or 9 if you're a beginner driver for the first like 2 years, I think it is. What sort of block do I want on top of that? I think I want a grey on top of that. Slab. That one. I think. Maybe. Or do I want to go back into the white again? Oh, I like that. We'll go back into the white. So yeah, points. And it said you might have some points. 5 points on your license. I was like, no, I do not. So I went online onto the like main driver license website, if you like, to keep things simple. And I put my details in, and no, I have no problems at all. My license is all clean. I don't even have a parking violation or anything like that. I'm totally squeaky clean. So I thought, I know what it is then. This is some kind of scam letter that's trying to get my details, my driving license. Because the letter says, can you please send your driver's details, your driver's license number, your national insurance number, all of this kind of stuff, and send it to us. And I thought, nah, it's a scam, isn't it? You know, they're trying to collect my data. Well, I tell you what, let me phone up my insurance company and just let them know that someone is quite cleverly getting like my data and saying that it's you. So I phoned them up and I said, hey guys, you know, look, I've got this letter here and it's saying that I'm doing something, I've done something bad. So they reply and they say, oh no, we sent that letter. I was like, what? you actually sent the letter? They said, yeah, we sent the letter. I was like, I don't have anything. I just checked online. Now, as it turns out, there's these websites you're probably aware because you've probably seen the adverts for, especially if in the UK you've seen the Go Compare advert with the guy with the mustache and the opera singing. There's these thing called comparison websites, and what these websites do is you put all your details into one website, and basically every single insurance company will give you a quote of those details. It's great because that way you don't have to individually phone up every single insurance place, go through the conversation like 50 times, saying the same old thing every time, and you just get a quote from each one. So like one might say £400, one might say £500, one might say £520, and you pick either the cheapest one or you pick the one that has sort of the most perks. Maybe they give you a free, if your windscreen gets a crack in it, you get a free windscreen with them. Or if your car breaks down, you get like a courtesy car, so like a temporary car until yours is fixed. And it's great. Comparison websites are great for that. And what had actually turned out was ages ago, back in May last year, when the letter said that I got these 5 points, I remember now going online, and a conversation came up with me and a couple of friends when we were just at mine chilling out, saying, oh, I wonder how much my insurance would go up. So let's say I pay like £500 at the moment for my insurance. Let's just say £500. What would happen to my insurance? How much would I have to pay if I got a speeding ticket and 5 points? Now, to get a speeding ticket and 5 points, you're probably doing something like, I don't know, 70 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour zone, or something along those lines. I thought, oh yeah, that'll be interesting. Let's just give it a go and see what it says. So I type in my details, and I can't remember what it said now because it was a while ago, but I think it came up with something about £1,200. So it went up by quite a bit. It sort of basically trebled, I would say, the cost. Oh, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, we closed down the website, or closed down the website, and just carried on. Obviously, that has been sitting in some database, obviously, for over a year, because it was May 2017 that the letter was said that I put those details in, and have only just sent out the letter now. So it's been sitting there for ages with the company. I don't know if they were thinking, or they must have been sort of somewhat thinking that I had these points. And then they sent the letter because of that. I was like, are you joking? And they're like, no. I'm like, I put all kinds of things. Like, I won't anymore, but I almost used to use these comparison websites as sort of like, although it sounds silly, like a game. Like I would put my details in and say, oh, what if I was a girl? Would that change my price? Oh, what if I had a Ferrari? Or what if I had a Lamborghini, or some really old car? What if I put in the smallest, cheapest car I can find? Does that affect? Oh yeah, that makes the insurance go really down. That would be cool to have that car. I wouldn't have to pay anything. What would happen if I had a bunch of driving convictions? Or what if I had been in prison? So I used to put all of those details in just to see how it would change it. I had no idea that anything that you put in is actually sort of, it must be kept somewhere, I suppose. So don't do that, as it turns out. It's a bad idea. I'm going to take away the top level of this, I think. It's a bad idea to do that, apparently. So I said to him, you know, I remember just playing around with this, and the woman on the phone, she was a lovely lady. She laughed. She was just like, oh right, I see. Which sort of made me a little concerned, because she was just like, oh right, oh okay, that's okay then. Almost like nobody had ever done it before. Like, it was completely a new thing. It wasn't, if she had said, oh, it's one of those ones, you know, oh yeah, we get these now and again, you know, whatever. But no, she sort of seemed surprised in a way. So yeah, I don't know. Have you guys ever had anything like that? For those of you that drive, I know some of you do, I know most of you don't, but some of you do. Have you ever heard of anything like that? I've never in my life did I know that that was even a thing. So yeah, now we know. The more you know, huh? Anyway, while I've been doing that, we've basically finished off this building. While I've been rabbiting on. Let's just put that in there. We'll put these at the top. I really like using the cyan clay. I haven't really been talking through any thought process behind the blocks here. But I use the cyan sort of block in sort of these little things here to match in with the cyan in the middle. It just ties in that block throughout the building then, as opposed to it just being one sort of 3-block wide slither down the middle. We've now integrated it into the building, so it's definitely not out of place. It blends into some surrounding buildings, becomes sort of a bit of an actual, I don't know, material that the building's used as opposed to just detail. And then I used quartz because I think quartz is just a really nice sort of accent block. It makes it stand out. Lets us know that's the top of the building. It's a really good divider, a really good break. I think we've also used it for the windowsills on this building. I haven't got the rest of them on yet, but we will be using them for the windowsills on the building, just to pop those out a little bit so they don't look boring. And then on the top here, we just sort of, like we sort of half mentioned last episode, we wanted to have sort of a part poking out of the top here, just so the top of the building didn't look flat with nothing going on. We've got a lot of flat roofs around this area. If we just pop up in the air in a minute, hold on. If I float up in the air, as you can see, a lot of the buildings around here have flat roofs. And if you do that too much, it can just look really dull when you're flying over. So just putting these little sort of pop-up parts just makes it look a little bit more interesting to look at. Something that we haven't done for ages and we really need to get back into the habit of doing is the air conditioning units on the top. Moss, that one. We need to get back into the habit of this. We haven't done this for ages. And although it might not seem that important, it makes a huge difference to a roof. It really doesn't take up all that much time or room. It can be done on small or large buildings, but it just makes a world of difference when you back off and look at it, especially from way up high, flying past in helicopters and stuff like that. We'll grab a rail. Put one on there. Put one on there. I'll put like a little one coming out of there. It just really finishes off the top there. So you've got it on that one, but I don't have it on this one or any of these ones. And none of them down there. I've just, for some reason, I forgot about them at the end of buildings or something. But yeah, a lot of them don't have them. So I definitely don't want to do a going round and putting air conditioning units on every single building episode. So I'll have to do that off camera. But if you do see those start popping up everywhere, because I'm doing them off camera. That is why. So let's get down the windowsills now. Do I want one on there? Oh, I sort of like that. No, I like that better. I like that better. Okay, I can't put one there because I'm going to put one there. We'll put one there. We make that from a tall fern into a small fern. It's been trimmed. Bloop. Get that back. Okay. So we'll put all of these on. We'll then bash the windows in. And as far as I know then... Oh no, we've got a little bit... The stairs we need to fix up, don't we? So I'll put these here, there, there. I don't want them on the sandstone part. They've already been put on there. And I don't have any windows on this side because that would be useless. Okay, what if we just done that? Just ties the quartz into everywhere else. Really neatens it up. I think this is a bit too high. I think if we done that, it would just look, yeah, a lot better. Cool. Let's get the wand. And we'll get some windows in here. Replace air with 160. In here. In that one. This one, including that little tiny bottom one. there. The big sixer. Another small little section. This one. And don't forget about the very top part either. I forgot about that for a minute. And down there. Okay, I think that's all the ones on the ground or the bottom part of the building. And then we just have a little tiny bit of them up here. Okay, what do we think? Do we like it? Let's have a back off. Just looking at the building itself, I like the structure. I like the colours. I think I want to get rid of those. I think we replace these with brick. Yeah, see, although it sort of we had the pillar down there and everything, because it was an internal curve, it didn't quite work. Oh, and this is interesting. These part of the buildings, they end up with the top of the sandstone going 2 blocks in, but here, the 2 block is down there. I might flip that so it matches the rest of the building. Let's just give it a go. Oh, did I place this? Yeah, there you go. Now, it's not that big of a difference, but it just now has like the tops of those the same as them. And I'll do that up here as well. Oh, that's a little bit of work. Yeah, it needs to be done. It'll look so much I think cleaner throughout having them all matching. That one. So many corners. Who builds a building with this many corners and why? Ooh, not good. That one. It's a really nice way to make an oldie sort of style building as well, doing these sort of corner sandstony parts. Very, very nice way. That and that. Okay, and then I suppose, I'm suspecting, suspect that, yeah, this one needs to be done as well. That's all good. And change those ones out. Now, it might look weird, those both being sandstone, but that's what we have on this side, and I just really like having a large sort of sandstone part. Just really breaks the brick up a little bit. Okay, cool. So, the front here... Oh, I missed the window. That one. And that one. Let's get these down here on the shop front. I'm going to put a little hedge in there, like a little bush. And then we'll bring this out here. I'll leave that there. Maybe even put a block with a fence on it. Something like... You know, so a note block would be interesting. We haven't used note blocks for like a fence design before. A fence. No. Don't click it. Fence. I've seen people use them before with note blocks. I never tried it myself. Do I like that? I think I sort of like that. It looks like that sort of wooden weave, like woven baskets. That's the sort of impression that gives me. Maybe you could do that hanging off like windows and stuff and pretend that they're like little woven baskets with a plant in it or something like that. Interesting. Leaves. Okay. A nice tall one up there. And maybe... Oops. Maybe one just round the corner there. Yep, I like that. I was just thinking about if I wanted any vines down it, but vines will make it look a little bit overrun or abandoned, and I don't want that. It's a cheap, very cheap place to live, but you still want it to be sort of nice in a way. Okay, I think I like that, you know. Anything else? Do I want like a fence post in those? That little bit of detail. I think we're good, you know. I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let's take a look with the shaders on. Fly. It's a bad time of day to get the light on the front of the building. Or the sun on the front. It'll be on the... Where is the sun? Oh, it's up there. I really like that. I think that's cool. It's different at all angles. We've got this sort of... like, what do they call them? Like canopy area on the back side. Just to divide up the two different block designs. We've got the courts tying in everything together. I really like that. I think it blends into the area really well. If you guys enjoyed the episode, hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode. Bye!